Welcome back to Sharpening the Sword podcast, guys. We are on episode 40, Why You Feel Stuck. This is number 40, guys. It's wild to think about. A little over a year ago, we started the podcast, and here we are on episode 40. So thank you guys for all the support. Thank you for supporting us and helping us out. I hope you guys are enjoying the show. Let us know what you like and what you don't like. And please, like always, subscribe, like, share, comment. That will help the podcast get out. But today, like always, guys, I have the number one co-host in the world, Giovanni Jimenez.
Hey.
What a dude, Giovanni.
I'm doing good, man. I'm excited about this topic. Like, I'm always excited for every topic, but I'm also very excited for this one.
This is a good topic, guys. This one's brought by yours truly, Giovanni, okay, the co-host of this podcast. Today is episode 40, Why You Feel Stuck, okay, guys? And I'm going to ask you this question. Have you ever felt like you're just frozen, like you're just stuck, that nothing is happening, no progress is happening, no success is happening, you're not getting closer to your goals, you're not seeing success in your goals, you just feel like you're stuck, like you're trapped, nothing is changing, you're living the same day over and over again, you're living the same week, month, year, everything seems the same, okay? And you feel like there's nothing new coming, there's no goals coming, no accomplishments coming or success, or you don't see growth, okay? You're seeing the same thing over and over again. Have you felt this? Because I have personally felt this. And I'm asking this question more of a rhetorical question. I believe at one point or another, everybody feels this, okay? I think as human beings, most of us truly experience a lot of the same things, okay? Now, where we grow up, the conditions we live in, and all that is different. But I think we face some of the same mental struggles, across the board as human beings, all right? And so what do you say about this, Gio? Have you ever felt stuck at some point of your life?
Yes, I have felt stuck. And I remember the feeling of being stuck. I didn't really know back then that I was stuck. But looking back, I knew that I was stuck. And I remember I was working a job. And like most people, most jobs, they just do it just to make money. You do it because it's something you have to do. As an adult, you have to be responsible. Unless you're just dead to be and your parents pay for everything. Which is kind of common nowadays. But my parents were not going to let that fly. So I remember working this job. And I would wake up in the morning and I was like, fudge, bro. I was literally only living for the weekend. Monday through Thursday was hell. Just 8 hours felt eternal. The 8 hours of work. I would break my day up into two parts. I was like, my first 4 hours to get to lunch. Okay, once you get to lunch, okay, we get to chill out, get some food, watch some videos, get some dopamine. And then the last 4, we just grind out the last 4. And then when 4:30 rolled around, I worked from 8 to 4:30. And then when 4:30 rolled around, I was the happiest I could ever be because I got to go home. It's funny. There's memes like people say I drive back home from work like I'm late to the house. That was literally me. Like I could not stand having to go to work. I could not stand just being where my responsibilities were at, which having to go to work. And so I was stuck because I didn't like what I was doing. I was living the same day over and over again. I remember when you said that, you were like, most people get depressed because they live the same day over and over again. And I realized I was living the same day over again. I got up, I went through the whole routine, which was hell. You're looking at the clock, can't wait till time's up for me to get out of here. And then go home. The couple hours that I had at home went by so fast. And then I'm like, damn, I got to go to sleep again and do it again. And then when Friday rolled around, there's a saying, in Spanish, it was like, it's Friday and your wallet knows it. You know you're about to get paid. So Friday, you can like bear with it because you know it's about to be the weekend. So Friday, it was a good day. Saturday, you enjoy it. And then Sunday, the Sunday blues. I don't know if you ever had that, but the Sunday blues is so much dread you feel, like mini depression. You're like, damn, I really got to go through that all over again. I remember I would leave church. It was 1 p.m. I would leave church at 1 p.m. and I would be just thinking about the fact that I had to go to work tomorrow. Like that would cloud my mind. Like that wouldn't let me enjoy my afternoon because I knew I had to go to work the next day. And I was stuck. I wasn't progressing. I wasn't getting close to my goals. I wasn't becoming any healthier. I wasn't barely training jiu-jitsu. And I had just very undisciplined, and I had developed very bad habits, like, just bad habits that come up when you're not living your purpose. Like you said, if you don't have a purpose, like those dogs, like a German Shepherd doesn't have purpose, he starts digging holes. You start digging holes in your own life. And so that was happening with my life. But, whatchamacallit, I was able to get out of it, by the grace of God. There was an opportunity, and I was able to work at the academy. And at the academy, it doesn't even feel like work. 8 hours go by so fast. To me, we're there like 9 to 9, like 12 hours, at least 12 hours, but they go by so fast. You're like, damn, already? I'm kind of like, damn, the day went by too fast. I still got other things I want to do. In comparison to when I would work at my other job, 8 hours felt like hell. And I kind of feel bad for people because I'll go to places like restaurants or businesses or whatever, and you talk to the employees, and they're like, how are you today? And they're like, man, I can't wait to get out of here. And I see them, I'm like, man, I remember being there. And that's an effed up situation you're in, right? I remember being there, and it's messed up. For me, I saw an opportunity, and I changed my day-to-day life. Meaning, I just changed. I was in this scene. Cut the curtains. Here's a new scene. I just took myself out of that situation, and I was able to find happiness. So I remember being stuck. I remember I was sure if I stayed there, I would have became more depressed and all the other stuff. But I think a lot of people, especially in today's age, whether they want to admit or not, they feel stuck, they feel dread, and I think that's a silent killer in today's age that a lot of people don't necessarily talk about. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No, I agree with you, and like I said earlier on, I think a lot of people face these problems and face these things more than we know, right? Because I think one of the biggest things is the jobs, your career field, right? Depends on what you have. Not everybody's blessed or has the capabilities to necessarily work for themselves or have their own business or even do what they truly love. Mm-hmm. That's just the truth and the reality of this life, of this world, right? It's also easier for me and you and I to say, hey, well, why don't you just go and create your own destiny and create your own job with your passion? That's easy to say. Of course, I'm going to encourage you guys to do that, right? But it takes capital, it takes knowledge, it takes education, it takes risk, it takes sacrifice. It takes a long list, okay? So even if you know what it takes to do it, you can. Mm-hmm. And this is the sad truth of life, okay? The quote that life isn't fair is true to some extent. You know what I mean? Now, it seems like I'm contradicting myself because I'm always talking about sharpening the sword, right? Now, I'm not going to live by those circumstances. Just be honest with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, what you face, everybody faces. I remember facing it when I was, the point of realization was when I was 18, right? I used to be a street vendor. I used to sell shoes and stuff on the street, rugs, comforters, blankets, clothes. And I was living the same day over and over again. Now, I had to work whether it was cold or hot. There was no guarantee, right? There was no guarantee to buy lunch. There was no guarantee for gas. There was no guarantee. There was a lot of uncertainty, right? And there was a lot of risk involved with selling stuff on the street, right? And so it was always living in that environment of what's going to happen tomorrow or what's going to happen today. Mm-hmm. When you wake up, you're thinking, okay, what's going to happen today? Am I going to make money? Am I going to get in a fight? Am I going to get robbed? And then when you close, you're thinking about that. And then when you're done, you're on the way home, you're thinking about, well, nothing happened today. I didn't make money, And then you think about, okay, what's going to happen tomorrow? And so I lived the same day over and over again. It was just, I was at a different town or a different city or a different state, but I lived the same day. I woke up early. I went to work. I opened my truck, unloaded the merchandise, and I sat there. That's all I knew how to do. You know what I mean? And and I've given this story multiple times. I was 18 years old and I was in Arkansas. And from the second I woke up, I was off. Like my mind was taken over. And I was questioning myself, and it's like, what are you doing? You know, I told you that before we started the podcast. I asked myself, like, what am I doing? I know that I'm waking up and I'm going to sell stuff, but what is that getting me to? What am I doing? What am I working towards? Besides repeating the same steps over and over again, right? Now that got me somewhere. Don't get me wrong, but I had to do something. I had to pivot, right? But that morning I woke up and I said, here we go again. 5 a.m. I don't want to go to work. You know what I mean? But I had one thing is like, in my mind was like, you got to get up and work, bro. Like laying in bed, you know, laying at home. And I always joke, like, ladies don't take this as disrespect, but like, you're going to lay at home like a woman? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, women are supposed to be at home and working, right? As housewives. Okay, now it's 2025. They want to be independent and whatnot. But for me, it's like, okay, I'm not going to be a housewife. So get your tail up and go to work. And the whole way there, I was thinking. No, like the funny thing is, it's not funny, but the crazy thing is, I have the same image in my head until today, over 11 years later. The image does not leave my head at a certain point on the highway. And I probably showed it to you, but I'll show it to you one day when we're going to a tournament or something. And I see just a sunrise. And it never leaves my head. The same point, like over and over again. I see it until today. And that point was like, I'm almost to that town. You know? I just knew at where I was at that point, I was close to town. And it's never left the way it tasted, the way it smelled, the way it looked, the way I felt. Like none of that has ever left me 11 years later. You know, but I think you need things like that. I think you need to be stuck. You know what I mean? And that day was where I was very stuck. Because all day I thought about was, why am I here? Why am I stuck? Why am I not going anywhere? Like, God, I'm getting up every day and I'm trying. And I literally said that. I remember looking up like at the sky. And I don't know if I give this detail on the podcast. And I was like, God, like, why me? And I was very upset. And I was like, I started questioning things. You know? It's like, I'm trying to be a good person. I'm working. I'm making an honest living. Like, I'm not doing nothing crazy. You know, I'm not robbing people. I'm not selling drugs. I'm not selling bad things. Yeah. You know? And it's like, why am I not moving out of my same position and I'm doing in my mind everything correct? Honest. Like an honest living. You know, I thought you do an honest living, eventually it comes. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, all right, God's going to make it work. Just being honest with you, right? Yeah. And it was just like, I realized at that point, like, I'm not going anywhere. You know, and I had two choices. Like, at that point, it's like, the truth is I wanted to quit. Like, there was a point in my head, it was like, just quit, like, just fold over. Like, go find a job or go do something. You know, but it always happens, and I wake up and I'm like, no, you got to pivot. And that was the day that I decided, like, from today on, I don't ever want to feel like this. I don't ever want to live like this. I don't ever want to think like this. Like, and I was 18 years old, but I've already been through that process for a few years now. You know what I mean? Like, I've been at it already 3-4 years. Yeah. By the time I got to 18. So it's not like I started at 18 and I already realized that. It was 3-4 years of that. And I was like, this is not going to happen again. What am I going to do next? You know, but it's not necessarily my story that I'm trying to tell you guys. What I'm trying to tell you guys is, because of me being stuck, I am where I am at today. But I had to take me being stuck and realize that I was stuck and do something with it. Now, in the last 10, 11 years, right, I've been stuck again multiple times. But it's easier to come out of it because now I can spot it and I can realize it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
So what was the impact of you realizing you were stuck?
The impact was of me realizing that I was stuck was I need to do something different. Now I know that I'm stuck because I always tell people, like, most people are, what did I always tell you when you first started working? Most people are what?
Asleep.
Most people are asleep. What do I mean by that? Most people are asleep is they live the same day over and over again because they're not doing what they love. Whether they can or they can't. I'm not talking about that. But they don't get to achieve everything they want, all their goals, or do the things that they want with their family, with their wife, with their spouse, whoever it is. You know what I mean? But the powerful thing about me realizing it was I realized it early. Most people don't realize this until 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years later. You know? Thank God for everything. But is it good that I was young, but again, like I was 18, but I was already getting my butt whooped by life since like 14.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like I was getting the tough part of life early on, where people taste it later on. You know what I mean? And so it's not like a 40-year-old that had his 30s tough and he woke up in his 40s, you know? I woke up at 18 because of the last 4 years of before then. Mm-hmm. But the important part was I didn't wake up at 40, 50 years old and realize I was asleep the whole time. And I made no progress. And I didn't get one step closer to what we talked about on episode 39 of winning the world championship. You know what I mean? Because the world championship, guys, go back and listen to episode 39 on the world championship if you have not. But my world championship, I knew it since a very young age.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? One of them was becoming the MMA champion, right? But the other one was my life goals, my personal goals, right? And I've talked about them before. I don't like to share all of them all the time, but my personal world championship, I've known it since I was, you know, in my early teens, right? Early teenager, 13, 14 years old. I used to always talk about it. And so because I realized at 18, I had more time to work toward my world championship instead of waking up at 30, 40 years old and then realizing it and realizing also that maybe I don't have enough time to accomplish that.
Damn.
Which a lot of people realize that.
That's very eye-opening.
You know what I mean? They get to 40 and 50 and they're like, I wake up, how many more years of my life do I have left?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's crazy. When you think about it, I think the average age is like 75 to like 80, right? So you think about it, when you hit 35, you're at middle age. Many people think like 40s into the 50s, that's middle age. Middle age is 35, which is crazy to think about, right? Because you're getting up there. But
so you call me old now, huh?
No, I'm calling you very wise. So being stuck, and the importance of it is, I mean, if you don't realize that you're stuck, I think you're gonna realize eventually, whether you realize in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, that you're stuck, you're gonna realize it. So the better you realize it that you're stuck, the faster you can address it, right? So what are some telltale signs that somebody's stuck? That the listener can be like, hey, that sounds like me.
I mean, the first one that's obvious, I say it's obvious, right? But when your mind is clouded, or we talked about it before on a previous podcast, like when you're like, don't take it to the extreme, guys, but like your mind is rotten, like it's just unhealthy, it's negative, okay? It's very clouded, maybe very dark. You don't realize it, that you're living the same day over and over again, on repeat. But you don't live it for just a week or 2 weeks. It's you lived it for a year, 2 years, 3, 5, 10 years, and nothing has happened in your life other than you being upset and having a very negative mindset and very negative outlook on life. I think that's one of the biggest ones, is living the same day and then being frustrated with those days because nothing new is happening. Nothing. You're not getting a step closer to your world championship, to your goals.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's just seeing the same thing over and over again. And those people that you see that are living that usually give off the negative energy, negative vibe, very negative, right? Very negative outlook on life. Now, some people, again, guys, like, I'm not here to knock you guys down. We're giving you an outlook, right? A different view. Some people have a choice. Some people don't have a choice. In the reality, not everybody has skills and capabilities that can get them out of that. Okay? Now, with the sharpen your sword mindset is you do it, you sharpen your swords every day so you can get closer to it.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I agree. I think not everybody will, but everybody can. And the reality of it is, it's in this life, there's gonna be winners, there's gonna be losers. There's gonna be far more losers than there is winners.
Mm-hmm.
You know? But I think that when you live by the sharpen your sword motto, you can give yourself a chance. But the fact of the matter is, not everybody's gonna win. Not everybody gets to live the glory because not everybody's willing to sacrifice.
Yeah.
So, biggest reasons why people feel stuck. Number one is the fear of change. You know, sometimes success brings its own anxiety. You know, you fear. Us humans, we fear change for many reasons. Psychologically, we're wired that way. We like familiarity. And also, when it comes to like the fear of failure, which we talked about a lot, which can prevent you from taking risks. So how do you address that? The fear of change, success. What do you got to say about that?
Well, the big one is the fear of change, right? If you're not willing to change, do you expect anything to change?
No.
You know what I mean? If you're not willing to make changes, do you expect change to happen? In order for change to happen, you have to change. You personally have to change. The things you do has to change. Maybe your career field has to change. Maybe your team has to change. Your support system has to change. The people around you got to change. The mindset got to change. Your body got to change. Right? So many things have to change for things to change. Am I going to win am I going to be able to run 3 miles if I don't change my fitness lifestyle? If I'm out of shape?
Of course not.
You know, if I can barely walk 10 minutes and be out of breath, can I go run 3 miles? If I don't change my fitness lifestyle? No, it's not going to happen. If I can't walk up 3 steps of stairs without gassing out, how am I going to go run 3 miles? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just the truth. So how do you expect that to just happen? People fear change like it's a bad thing. Change is not necessarily a bad thing. Now, it is scary, but that doesn't mean you should run from it. And it doesn't mean that because you're changing, that bad things are coming. Sometimes when you change, the best things are coming. But we don't look at it that way because our psychologically, our body is wired to not like change, to like to do the same things over and over again. Why do they tell you to stick to a routine? Because the body and the mind love it. There's less stress. If you know what you're going to wear the next day, if you know what time you're going to wake up, you know what time you're going to work out, what time you're going to eat, if you can get all this on a schedule, your cortisol levels are lower, your stress levels are lower. Everything becomes easier because the body likes that. Mm-hmm. Now, if you don't eat at 1 o'clock and you've been eating at 1 o'clock for 2 weeks, see how you act. Or don't work out at 5 a.m. When you've been working out at 5 a.m., see how you feel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So change is part of the process. And the thing is, the moment you quit changing, or let's use evolving, because evolving is changing, right? If you quit evolving, then you stagnate, and you stagnate, you die. Right? And I don't mean literally die, but like your goals die. Your success, your progress dies. You know? So you have to overcome the fear of change and don't look at change as negative. Look at it as also a positive thing and have a positive outlook and mindset toward it. Like, hey, if I change this, then I'm going to see positive return. Instead of like, oh snap, what's the uncertainty? What's going to happen? You think of that, you talk yourself out of it, then you never change.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some people are afraid to make a career change. I was terrified, right? I knew one thing, which is retail, right? Which is selling products, material products, to selling an idea or a lifestyle, jiu-jitsu. Right? And they all told me, it's going to be easy. You can sell, which my sales does translate, right? A little bit. But it's a different ballgame. But I'm selling something that is not a material. I'm not selling you a T-shirt. If you need the T-shirt or you like this T-shirt, you can buy it.
Yeah.
But I'm selling you jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean? I went from selling products to selling a lifestyle. Okay? That was scary. That was terrifying. But if I didn't do it, probably would not be a jiu-jitsu black belt. I'd probably not be an academy owner. I'd probably not be a coach. I'd probably not have sharpened a sword. You know what I'm saying? I'd probably not be as sharp as I am today. Right? I'd probably not be as healthy as I am today, physically, mentally. A lot of things.
Yeah.
Right? That if I didn't make the leap, I didn't make the jump, I didn't make the change, then I wouldn't be where I'm at today.
100%. I agree. I think change is just a sign of growth. It's just a sign that there's better things to come. And so you should definitely embrace change. The fact is, life is always going to change. You know, I remember all the friends I had years ago, not there no more. The relationships that I had, not there no more. I think at the end of the day, the only thing that will be there is like your family. You know? I think that's the only thing that stays. But outside of that, everything changes. You know, the clothes you wear, your mindset changes. I think us humans are like rivers, you know? It's always flowing. And the water that was here is now gone. Now here's new water, constant change. And that's just the cycle of life. You look at the weather, it's constantly changing, you know? So, embrace change. So number 2, why people are stuck and how to overcome them is they lack clarity or direction. People feel stuck when their goals aren't clear or they haven't fully figured out what they truly want. Can you dive into how to realign your purpose and figure out your goals? And if maybe your goals really aren't what you are realigned with your purpose, and how to refresh those goals to something that's aligned with you.
We talked about this in episode 24, I believe, goals, right? And lack of clarity, you don't have clear focus on your goals. You don't have the clear vision, right? If you don't have the clear vision, if you can't see what you want, you can't see where to go, right? If I'm going to go to Canada and I put in a GPS, okay, GPS is going to show me from point A to point B. So I know if I go through this route, I'm going to go from point A to point B, right? Or let's not say Canada. Let me be a little more. Is it Ontario? Ontario, Canada, right? So most people say, I want to go to Canada, okay? And they get to Canada and they're like, where do I go? Okay? So most people say, I want whatever goal it is.
Yeah.
But where do you go to that goal? Instead, I want to go to Canada, but I want to go to Ontario, Canada at this monument, for example, or this waterfall. Now I can get straight to that. I see where it's at. I see the direction. Now I'm going to follow it. I have a clear vision of where I'm going to go. You know what I mean? I'm going to go to Yellowstone. I'm going to go to Montana. Okay, where are you going to go to Montana? It's all trees. It's all fields. You're going to just go there and walk the fields?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or are you going to go to Yellowstone, Montana? You know? Or Jackson Hole, Wyoming, whatever it is. You know? Go to the park, the national park. Go to a specific point at this park. Okay? You have a clear direction of where you're going. It's not just an open-ended place. All right? So most people, I want to be successful. Okay, what does success mean? I want to be rich. What does rich mean? Does it mean money? Does it mean family? What does it mean? Because rich means different for everybody.
Yeah.
Okay? I want a family. Okay, what kind of family do you want? Do you want a strong family? Most people are going to say, yeah, of course I want a strong family. But you didn't say it. That doesn't mean you want a strong family. Okay?
Yeah.
So you have to have a clear vision, a clear sense of direction of what you want. Because if you can't see where you want to go, you can't go. You can't get there. Okay? So you have to find what this thing that it is that you want. If you don't find something, a purpose in life that you're trying to achieve, or find what you're here for, I believe you're here for a reason. Right? I don't believe that we're just put on earth just to be put on earth. I don't believe that.
Yeah.
I personally don't believe it. I believe that you're here for a reason. What is your reason here? Okay? So if you can't take time and invest time in this and dissect yourself and look deep, and here's the thing, and block everybody out of your life when it comes to this. Your parents, your mom, your dad, your brothers, your sisters, your friends. Block everybody out. You have to find this. Not my mom, not my dad, not my brothers, not my sisters, not you, not my friends, nobody. Mm-hmm. I have to find this. What is my purpose here? Well, I've realized my purpose here is to be a jiu-jitsu black belt, an instructor, an academy owner, a guy that preaches sharpen your sword, that gives back to the community to make you stronger, to make your family stronger, to make your community stronger, and to make the country stronger. Okay? I have a sense of my direction.
Yeah.
Right? It's not for me to go be a pilot. What the hell am I going to go be a pilot for? All right? I've found mine. Okay? So I know where to work. I know where to take it. Okay? That's why I'm not stuck no more. I've found this road. It wasn't 20 different routes.
Yeah.
It was a few routes, 3 or 4 routes. Which one am I going to narrow it to? Which one is my true purpose? Is my purpose for me to be a young man, post pictures, get attention for fighting and post my medals and do all that? And have some fame from that? Or is my purpose to give back, to be humble and give back and help people?
Yeah.
To use my strength that I have, to use my knowledge that I have and help people. That's my direction that I figured out. It wasn't to be young and to be a fighter and to look cool and to be all that. Okay? Mm-hmm. So because I didn't have this direction early on, I was lost. I didn't know where to go. Where do I go?
Yeah.
Do I go fight another MMA fight? Do I go to another jiu-jitsu tournament? Do I go to training? Okay, I went and fought, and I went and fought, and I went and fought, and I went and competed, and I went and competed. But where was I going?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you have to know where it is that you want to go and what are you supposed to do. That's the first thing, is you have to clarify this part. You have to know where your direction is. Okay? So go back and listen to episode 24 about goals. Okay? And listen on how you need to find your goal, how you dissect yourself so you can find the goals and break the goals down and work toward those goals. Because when you're not working towards something, you feel empty. Mm-hmm. Right? We're humans. We're animals. When an animal doesn't go to work, we feel empty. You have nothing to do. Your mind takes over. The mind likes to be stimulated. The mind likes to be worked.
Yeah. I agree 100%. The feeling of a good day's work, knowing that you worked hard, it's nothing beats that feeling of satisfaction. Above, you ever like stay home, like let's say like it snowed in or whatever, right? And then the day just goes by. You're like, man, I just feel off. Like with the days that I don't work, like the days that I'm supposed to work but I don't work, I'm like, fudge, bro, I just feel off. Like, I don't feel good about myself. I feel like I didn't do something good, right? I didn't do something productive.
Yeah.
Now, granted, you can't be in Disneyland with the family and you're stressing about fudging, you got to work. But some telltale signs of the fact that you lack clarity, it's you feel aimless, you feel unmotivated, and you're not sure about what you really want. Those are the telltale signs that will let you know that you lack clarity. So, number 3, which is one of the biggest ones, everybody struggles with this. It's comfort zone paralysis. Your comfort zone is a place of safety, but it can also be a trap. Even though we want to grow, stepping outside what we know feels risky, and this can keep us from taking the necessary leaps. I always tell the kids that I coach, it was like, think about the comfort zone like this. Think about if there's a plant and it's under bubble wrap to keep it protected, right? It's say it's under museum glass. At first, it's nice, green, beautiful, but we're protecting it. So if we keep it exposed to the sun, exposed to the air, all these things, right? We're trying to protect it, but if we keep it from that, eventually it will just rot. And that's exactly what happens to a human. If they're in their comfort zone and they never push beyond that, they never feel the nerves, they're just gonna rot. They'll pick up vices, they'll live a bad lifestyle, and at the end of the day, you rot in the sense that your dreams rotted.
Yep.
So what do you have to say about comfort zone and how to push through that?
The comfort zone is the killer of dreams, man. At the end of the day, it's just that simple. It's simple, but it's not easy. Okay, I always say it's simple, but it's not easy. The comfort zone is the killer of your dreams. Okay? Just like routine and structure, right? Doing the same things over and over again. Not wanting to change. The body likes the comfort zone. Mm-hmm. When the body has stress on it, or you do something that stresses your mind out, or your physical part of your body also, it doesn't like it. During the process, it doesn't like it. Now, after the process, it likes it. But during the process, have you ever been just lifting, and it sucks, and it's hard, and you're working out, and it's like, oh, yeah, I'm loving this.
Yeah.
No, you're not loving this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, I try to lie to myself and train my mind, like, when this is hard, oh, yeah, I do love this. This is normal. Hard work, hard training, this is good for me. I love this. You're not finna break me.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it. I'm fighting my mind in the moment. It's telling me to stop, and I'm telling it, why am I going to stop? This is what I like to do, right? So the body does not like when you leave the comfort zone, because when you leave the comfort zone, you're doing something hard. The comfort zone is what you can do day to day without being stressed. What you can do day to day. You live day to day the same way, so you don't get stressed. You wake up, go to the bathroom, brush your teeth, go take a shower, put your clothes on, have a cup of coffee, drive to work, clock in, 9 o'clock. 1, 2, 3, 4 phone calls, talk to Debbie at the front desk, talk to so-and-so over here, talk to Johnny over here. All right, it's 5 o'clock, it's time to go home.
Yeah.
Go home, wife yelling here, kids yelling here. Whatever.
Dogs crapping everywhere.
Dogs crapping on the floor, whining over here. Honey, kids got homework to do. Honey, kids got sports to do, blah, 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 whatever. Throws a football game on, okay? Sits on the couch, doesn't move, gets up, goes to bed, does the same thing 5 days a week. Okay? That's easy.
Yeah.
All right? That's easy. Now, I'm saying this, I don't have kids or a wife, but go home, do your kids' homework, talk to your wife, help your wife out, do this and that, study something, maybe related to your job, or maybe something else, and maybe you can do a side hustle. Okay?
Bro, I come dead from work. I don't want to come home from work and do all that BS.
Okay, then stay where you are. Then you don't argue about, don't whine about what you don't have. Or don't whine about how life is not fair.
Yeah.
That's what I got to say. Because life is not fair. I know life is not fair. Because I know life is not fair, guess what I do? I work harder. I'm going to level the playing field.
Yeah.
Okay? That's the way I look at it. Now, some people are going to say, well, Mo, I think you're crazy. Maybe I am a little bit. Okay? But I want to play the game on my terms. I want to play this life on my terms. I don't want to live the same damn day 50 years in a row. I don't want my family to live the same day 50 years in a row. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be in a routine. I don't want to be like a damn hamster that jumps on the wheel, runs on this damn wheel, comes off the wheel, goes sucks on the water bottle, go eat some food, jumps back on the wheel and does the same thing, and it's in this cage that never leaves this cage until it dies. What's the difference?
Yeah.
What's the difference? Our cage is just a little bit bigger if we don't decide to do something about it, right? And if you don't decide to do something about it because you're afraid to leave the comfort zone, because when you tell me that, you don't want to leave the comfort zone. I know it's not easy. I know it's hard. You think I want to get up at 4:30 in the morning to come work out in the gym before teaching a class?
Yeah.
No, I don't want to. That's outside of my comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
Now, many things can happen. I can push it to the afternoon. I get lazy. I don't do it. Or it's easier for me to do it in the afternoon because it's an afternoon. I'm awake.
Yeah.
But I would rather do it in the morning because I question myself until today, right? Now, some days are easier than others. But like, just skip the workout, bro. I told myself this morning, just skip the workout.
Yeah.
No, you don't get to skip the workout. Because if I skip the workout, I'm staying in my comfort zone. And if I stay in my comfort zone, my body doesn't get stronger. My mind doesn't get stronger. You know? Okay? I was listening to, sometimes I catch myself for a couple weeks listening to music. I remove it. Sharpening Sword podcast. As crazy as it sounds, I listen to my podcast.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Even though we're the ones saying it, I go back and listen to it. Neuroelasticity, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I hear something, like episode 39 got me on fire yesterday. I listened to it yesterday. I listen to Jim Rohn a lot during the workout. So now it's like compounding. My workout, my dopamine is going, my serotonin, my oxytocin is going. Everything is going from lifting weights, right? From getting a workout. My body and my mind is getting stimulated and expanding. And also I have the podcast in my head expanding my mindset. Now it's just a compounding. Now it's like, okay, now we're working. And that's where my thoughts start going. But if that's outside of my comfort zone. If you want to be better, you have to leave the comfort zone. You have to. You know what I'm saying? When I was younger, I couldn't swim. Okay? And I remember this because it bothered me a lot. Right? I didn't even go to my friend's pool party sometimes because I couldn't swim.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
And so it bothered me a lot, honestly. And this is crazy. Do not do this, guys. Do not do this, okay? Disclaimer, do not do this. I do not support this message. I'm just saying a story that happened. And so I used to always wear a life jacket in the pool. Or have a floaty or like a pool noodle or stay in the shallow part.
Yeah.
Okay? I never got to really have fun in the pool. And one day we went to the lake. I went to the lake with a few friends. Okay? I was older at this point. Took the life jacket off. Okay? We were cliff jumping and all that. I was young. And of course, I cliff jumped with this life jacket. But we were in the middle of the lake, just in the middle. I was on the boat, took my life jacket off, and just jumped. I just jumped straight into
crazy.
the lake. You know what I mean? So do not do this, guys. I'm not encouraging this. I'm just giving an example. It's probably not the best example. I just jumped straight into the lake, in the middle. There was no rocks or nothing close by. We're dead set in the center. I took it off and I just jumped, right? And I remember overthinking it, and I was like, bro, you're either gonna swim or you're not gonna swim at this point, you know? And I jumped, and I couldn't swim good, but I got to the pool and I got to the boat, and I was like, bro, I did that. So I did it again.
Yeah.
And I did it again, and I did it again, and then I started swimming, and I learned how to swim. But I think part of it was the fear of changing something, right? And this is not a good example because my life is on the line, right?
Yeah.
But taking a damn life jacket off, taking my safety net off, taking my comfort zone off, and just doing it. So in life, you just have to do it. Screw the fear of change, screw the comfort zone, and just go for it. Okay? Is it easy? No. Is it simple? No. It's simple, but it's not easy. You know what I mean? So, again, we talked about it last week about how it's hard to do certain things. And you said it, hey, bro, it's hard after a long day of work. Yeah, but if you don't do it, you're going to live that same day 20 years in a row.
Yeah.
And nothing changes. You don't get to change your life, your kid's life, your family's life. And that's what I'm obsessed with. And I'm obsessed with this because I want you guys to realize that You need to realize that. I've realized it, but I want you to realize it. And most young people don't realize it. I've always said it. You can be an underlived, what is the quote? We said on the podcast, an underlived 30-year-old or an underskilled, hold on, what was the quote?
Underskilled 30-year-old.
You be an underskilled 30-year-old and an overlived 20-year-old. Right? That was the quote, wasn't it?
I think underlived 20-year-old or an underskilled 30-year-old.
No, it's an overlived 20-year-old and an underskilled 30-year-old. Because you lived up your 20s, but you have no skills when you get to 30. Mm-hmm. But you be an underlived 30-year-old, okay? I jacked up the quote. You be an underskilled 20-year-old, but an overlived 30-year-old. That's what it is. Mm. So you won't have the skills at 30, but you enjoyed life. Okay? Or you could be a skilled 30-year-old and an underskilled... my brain just shut off, bro. My point, guys, is you can have fun in your 20s. Forget the quote. You can have fun in your 20s. And you won't have no skills later on in life. Mm-hmm. Okay?
You have nothing to show.
You have nothing to show for it. You can have fun in your 20s, okay, in your teenage years and your 20-year-old years. And by the time you get to your 30s, you have nothing, no skill set. You have nothing. And you wonder why you don't have success. Mm. You partied like a rock star in your 20s. You had fun in your 20s. You wanted to be cool in your 20s. Okay? Or you can be an underlived 20-year-old and get to 30 and have the skill set.
But Mo, what if I die tomorrow? What's all that sacrifice for? All that work for?
That's what God wrote for you, buddy. Right? I'm well aware that I might die tomorrow. Mm. And I don't get to achieve my goals, but at least I tried. Right? And here's the thing. I'm not going to cry about what I don't have. Most of these people are complaining about what they don't have. Most of these people complain about they can't find the right person. Or they're not the right... the truth is they're not the right person. Mm. Okay? Or why they don't have the family they want. Or they don't have the business they want. Or the career they want. Well, it starts with you, buddy. Are you sharp? Because the one that gets the success is the sharpest one, usually. The one that gets to eat the banana in the jungle is the one that's the sharpest silverback. Mm-hmm. The one that gets to eat, the lion in the safari that gets to eat is the sharpest lion. You know what I mean? There's nothing different at the end of the day. We're just in a little bit more civilized society.
100%. And unlike animals, this is badass about being human. It's unlike animals, maybe the alpha silverback gorilla, like he was born. Obviously, he's got more muscle than everybody. So like in the animal kingdom, size usually determines who wins, right? But when we got the brain, imagine this decides who. And the thing about it is you can decide how much you want to push. It just comes down to a decision that you make. And that's what's badass about being human is your circumstances do not define where you're going to go. At the end of the day, it's this brain that defines how far you go, you know? And I think a lot of people subscribe to the bullshit where I wasn't born gifted. I wasn't born with that kind of mindset. Or I wasn't born like fudging. Like some people look at Elon Musk and be like, oh, well, you know, the way he was born, the way he's wired, he was set up for success. The way my ass was born is I wasn't clearly born to be like that. Yeah. And I don't believe that. I believe fudging, you put in the work, you can catch up to anybody.
I agree. I mean, you know what I believe in that, right? You either make the circumstances or you play by circumstances. Which one are you willing to do, right? And again, guys, I'm going to clarify this again. I understand some people are not willing to sacrifice or risk it. And I'm not knocking you down. Okay? If you're saying, hey, Mo, I'm not going to go leave my job that pays me 70 grand a year, 80 grand a year, whatever it is, that secures my family, to risk going to open a business to try to live the life that I want. Hey, to each his own, bro. But you can do a little bit here and a little bit there that will change your life. Okay? Now, you ask me, I'm jumping off the cliff with no life jacket. If you ask me, now some people would say that's extreme. I think to reach the world championship, you have to be extreme. I think sometimes to be unstuck to the max, you have to make the leap. You have to jump off the cliff. Because this is the other thing. We're talking about being stuck, right? Even if you're not like stagnant all the way, that you're living the same day over and over again, if you have a decent job, I know somebody, okay? We've had a very close talk. Like very like personal talk. And this person is like spilled their guts out to me, okay, about their life and everything. And told me like, I'm not willing to risk leaving my job because I have kids. Hey, bro, I respect it. You know what I'm saying? I respect it. They're making good money. Okay, they're getting paid well, honestly. They're getting paid well. They're not really necessarily struggling financially, but because of the job, they don't get to truly do what they want. So, okay, you have the money, but you're still stuck. You get to change your life a little bit by traveling here and traveling there, which they do, right? But to some extent, they're still stuck. And this is the words out of their mouth. I feel like I'm still stuck. This conversation has never left my head. Okay? So the high level part of this is like, you work your 20s, young men and young women. Work hard. Get out of the comfort zone. Don't be afraid of change, right? And be an underlived 30-year-old. Okay? That's a quote. You know, is you either overlived 20-year-old and underskilled 30-year-old, right? Damn, I forgot it again. Or you're going to be a very skilled 20-year-old and an underlived 30-year-old. You know, you be an overskilled 20-year-old and underlived 30-year-old, or you can be an overlived 20-year-old and an underskilled 30-year-old. That's the quote. It's your choice. You know what I'm saying? And each choice that you make, there's a price for it. At the end of the day.
Yeah.
There's a price.
100%. It all comes down to decisions, right? Life is all about trade-offs and decisions. But in reference to getting out of your comfort zone, why is it important to practice the comfort zone, right? To practice getting out of your comfort zone, feeling the nerves. Why is it important? Like, let's say somebody's like, you know what? I'm working towards my goals, but why do I need to step out of my comfort zone? Like, let's say, like, I feel like I'm on track to doing what I want, but I feel comfortable, like, in my job. Like, I feel like I'm doing good. Like, why is it necessary to do things that'll push you out of your comfort zone?
Because growth happens when you're not comfortable. That's where growth happens. Okay? We talked about the balloon. If I don't expand the balloon, right, I don't get to see how big the balloon really gets. If I don't push the limits. If I don't push my limits, I don't get to see how big I get. I don't get to see how big my growth gets. Okay? If I'm not uncomfortable, if I'm not failing, if I'm not thinking about quitting, if I'm not doubting myself, okay, I'm not outside of the comfort zone. I'm still in the comfort zone. Unless these things start happening, you're still in the comfort zone. Until these things start happening, that means you're leaving the comfort zone. You're coming out of it. You're in the uncomfortable. Okay? And you have to get to the uncomfortable to really see growth and to really see success and to get unstuck. Because as long as you're comfortable, one way or another, it may not be the extreme part of stuck where you live in the same thing 10 years in a row and you're just miserable. It may not be to that extreme. Okay? But you may be stuck like, hey man, I can't make it to my kids' games as much as I want. Or I can't give my family the life that they want. or I can't get to this point of my career, or I can't get my business to this point, from point A to point D.
Yeah.
I can't go from white belt to purple belt. Forget black belt right now, just white belt to purple belt. You can be stuck at white belt, or you can be stuck at purple belt. Which one do you want to be stuck at? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So if you want the change to happen, you have to leave the comfort zone. You have to do hard things. You have to get uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And every time you do that, you level up physically and mentally. You get sharper. That's the whole idea behind sharpening the sword. Okay?
Yeah. I agree. I think you can also lie to yourself when you do push yourself. Like, I remember when I first started working out, this is hilarious. It's like, and I saw a meme about it. It was like dudes will go to the gym and like do the most medium workout, like most mediocre workout, feel mild discomfort, and then say that they worked out, right? And it was like, bro, you gotta be pushing the whether it's cables or the free weights, you gotta be feeling it, right? You can't be, oh, it hurts, someone drop it, right? That's not gonna really stimulate any growth, right? Because you're not pushing yourself. If you feel mild discomfort and you stop at the mild discomfort, then it's like you said, you just halfway inflate the balloon and that's it. Or let's say, you know how the balloon is all flaccid? You just pumped air until it got shape, and that's where you stopped. But you said you gotta expand it till you got stretch marks, right?
Yeah.
You gotta expand it till it becomes one whole stretch mark at that point.
Yeah.
But that's crazy. Stepping out the comfort zone. Now I remember when I was stuck and then having to step out the comfort zone. This is the biggest thing. The reality was, I was like, man, I can either feel uncomfortable and not know what's gonna happen when I step out, or I can know for sure what's gonna happen if I stay here. Yeah. And I'd rather just take a chance, take a leap of faith, than budget, give it a chance, because I know where I'm at. It's gonna be hell, and I don't want to be there. So I rolled the dice, and things turned out. I won the games. So, like they say, if you don't like the hand that you're playing, budget, change the whole hand. Give me another set, right? So that was part 3. Part 4 is people feeling overwhelmed and burnt out. What do you say about that? People might have too much on their plate. Now, you don't necessarily believe that, right? You believe that if you load up your plate, you can push yourself and expand and see that you're more capable than you think. But what do you say about that? That maybe sometimes people have too many managing too many interests, managing too many responsibilities, and they can't focus on one thing.
First of all, right, people can't necessarily take on too many things, right? I think the more you can juggle, the more you can juggle, the more you can probably see success. But the truth is, not everybody can do this. Mm-hmm. Women try to act like they can multitask. You can't. You can't. Okay, it's as simple as that. You know what I mean? We've all heard the thing like, oh, I'm texting and I'm driving, or I'm texting and I hear you. No, you can't do both. Yeah. Right? Most people can't do both. Most people can't do a lot. They're becoming overwhelmed with so many things to do. Okay? So to start out as a white belt level, to get unstuck, instead of giving yourself 10 things to do, okay, just start with 2 things or 1 thing. Do 1 for the mind, 1 for the body. Every day, just 1 thing as a white belt. Just 1 thing. Okay, that 1 thing can be drink water. Mm-hmm. All right? The 1 thing can be Sharpen Your Sword podcast. Forget the 40 other podcasts. Just Sharpen Your Sword podcast. Okay? Just our podcast, guys. Just kidding. Any podcast that you like.
And thug it out too. Listen to the whole thing, not just first 20 minutes. Then you got bored and now you're watching cat videos online.
But just 1 thing. Podcast can be for the mind. Just once a day. 30 minutes a day. Okay? And then water. Let's just start simple. Or podcast and 8 hours of sleep. Or read 30 minutes a day or 10 pages a day and 8 hours of sleep at the white belt level. Now, this is going to be harder than you think. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now you get a stripe on your belt because you gotten big, you gotten stronger. You kind of got outside the comfort zone. You're starting to see some growth from that. Okay. You were at 10 pages a day. Now let's read 10 pages a day and let's listen to Sharpen Your Sword podcast. And now you're drinking, you're sleeping 8 hours a day. Now let's do a gallon of water a day. Or let's remove sodas. Now you're doing that. Now you get another stripe. Okay, now you remove too much sugars during the week. You remove fast food. You listen to an hour of podcast a day. Or when you have downtime, you listen to a podcast. Or you put on something educational when you have downtime. Instead of listening to music in the car now, you put on a podcast or a motivation entrepreneur. Right? And then you get to blue belt, and now you can do more. You get the purple belt, now you can do more. You get the brown belt, now you can do more. Now you can get to black belt, you can do more. Okay? Well, people are like, Mo, how are you juggling all this? You're doing too much, right? Well, if you told me this 5-10 years ago, I couldn't do it. Okay? I've been doing this for 10, 12. I've been working for over half of my life. Okay? If I've been working for over half my life, my capacity is a lot larger. What I can take, what I can handle is a lot larger. The stress level that I can operate under is a lot larger. The pressure that I can operate under is a lot bigger. Okay? The feeling of burning out, I can push it to the side. The feeling of burned out, I can ignore it. Being overwhelmed, I can ignore it. I actually like to be overwhelmed, to be honest with you. When I'm overwhelmed, I know I'm working. For me, when I have so much, I know like I'm alive.
Yeah, you said you like to be in the chaos.
You know, when I'm in the chaos, I told you this early on too, I think. When I'm in the chaos, I know I feel alive. Because I know I'm working. A lot of things are moving. When it stops is when I'm like, okay, what's going on? This does not feel good. Right? Now, eventually, I know I have to turn this off. And I will when I decide to. But right now, I don't want to. Okay? So we can just say I'm a black belt. I've been doing 14 years. So, of course, I can take all this. I can coach. I can compete. I can coach at tournaments. I can travel to tournaments. Still working on my academy. Still working on my other business. Still working on my new projects. My new endeavors, right? Still doing all this. Still shooting my Monday morning show. Still shooting my podcast. You know, I'm still replying to my clients, to my students. Still doing all this, right? And trying to stay sane. Okay? Let me tell you something. You're not going to be sane if you just start out of nowhere and you just try to throw everything on. So for that dad that I gave an example of, and you're like, well, it's hard. Well, I didn't ask the guy to go climb Mount Everest.
Yeah.
Go home, spend 30 minutes with your kids, go throw the ball with them, go play basketball, go watch a movie with them or watch their sports or sit there and talk about their homework or school. That's it. Put on a Sharpen Your Sword podcast and that's it. You know what I mean? Just a little bit a day. Okay? So that's how you can take the overwhelming part out, is by starting with a little bit. When that becomes easier, just add a little bit more to it. And when that becomes easier, add a little bit more to it. And just keep adding. Every time it becomes easy, just add a little bit more. Just to get you a little bit out of the comfort zone. To let you feel a little bit uncomfortable. To feel a little chaos. And then you look back a year or 2 years later, like, dang, I do all of this? I accomplished all that? Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
You know?
So progressive overload in your life.
That's it. You know? And burned out, guys, I guess you can say it's a real thing for average people. I don't know about to be upset about that. But I think it's because you're disconnected from life, you're disconnected from your goals, and you're not getting a return on your output. Because I feel burned out if I'm doing the same thing over and over again and I don't see no return. Now, you have to understand sometimes you have to do this for a period of time before you get your return. You have to do it for a period of time before you get your return. Now, a lot of people don't understand that. Right? But if you're doing the same thing over and over again and there's no return on it, of course, you're like, what am I doing this for? You're going to sit there and think about it. And then you're going to be exhausted. And you're going to be like, damn, I'm burned out. And then you stop.
Yeah.
So ahead of the game, you have to realize that you have to work for X amount of time, 6 months, a year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, before you get the return, right? And if you're completely disconnected from your goals, don't just say, hey, I want to be a world champion. I want to be, like you said, I want to be a big baller, shot caller, right?
That's right.
Right? What does that mean? Right? What does that mean, truly, right? You have to know what it means. You have to deep down know what it means. A big baller, what is a big baller? What does big baller mean to you? Big baller, what means to you is different what it means to me. Mm-hmm. And you have to be connected to it. You have to be one. If you're not connected to that, then you're going to feel like it's so far away and you're going to get burned out. And then you're going to stop. Because burnout is what kills people. Because the truth is, I don't care how tough you are. I don't care how sharp your swords are. You will feel this. 100% guaranteed you will feel this.
And so your response to that feeling is going back to why you're doing this.
Stay connected to what you're doing, why you're doing it. You know?
Powerful. Honestly, that would be infinite motivation right there when you remind yourself of why you're doing this, because those moments will arise.
And you also, in some moments, just got to be tough. Nobody wants to talk about that. You know, like in some moments, you just got to be tough. You got to tough it out.
Stop being soft.
Quit being soft. I don't want to say the other word. Quit being soft. The truth is, like, there's some instances in my life, if I didn't tough it out, I'm not going to be sitting here. It was hard. And I told you that earlier. I'm like, bro, it was rough. You know? And part of that was just being tough. Now, that's not necessarily the best advice. You know, it's like, hey, Dad, I fell down. I cut my elbow. Okay, rub some dirt on it. You're going to be okay.
Yeah.
Just be tough. Sometimes just being tough, okay, can get you further than you think. And nobody thinks of some toxic masculinity, whatever it is. Just be tough, bro. But you can't be tough if your swords are not sharp. And I will tell you, again, I'm going to talk about the people, the teenagers and 20-year-olds. Most of them are not tough. Very rare I see somebody and I'm like, all right, he's tough.
A tough guy right there.
You know what I'm saying? Very rare. Small number. I'm like, all right, that's a tough person. Okay, that's just truth. That's just reality. Now, sometimes I'm biased because I fought MMA, because I'm a jiu-jitsu black belt, because I train every day, because I went through the suck. Now, people may say, hey, you're biased or you're just too hard. Right? You're too picky. I can say, yeah, that's true, or you're just too soft. Okay? So sometimes just be tough to get past that burnout. You just tough it out another week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 2 months, 6 months.
Yeah.
And see what happens. But most people are not willing to tough it out because willing to tough it out is very hard.
100%. When the going gets tough get going. And so this feeds directly into the last segment, which is having patience and self-compassion. Remember, we're talking about this, about like, you know, in today's age with the social media and everybody is a big baller. And everybody got all the shiny stuff and all the nice toys. And then the youth has been led to believe that if I'm not balling in my 20s, I'm a fudging failure. You know? With not knowing that the reality of it is, when you plant a seed, you can't expect it to be a big oak, nice, big and green in a month, right? So what do you say about the importance of having patience in this journey and having patience as you're getting unstuck in yourself from the mud?
Man, like you talked about the seed and the big tree. Like I planted an apple tree a few years ago. And I look at it every day, I'm like, bro, come on, just give me one apple.
Yeah.
Right? Just give me one apple. Okay? But it's a process. A year. It's been 4 years or so.
Still no apple?
I haven't got an apple.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if I did something wrong, but I didn't get no damn apple. Okay? So I'm waiting for it, and I know when the apples drop, I'm going to be extremely happy when that time comes. I'm like, okay, that was worth the wait because I planted it since it was a baby tree. Now I'm getting fruit from it. Okay? So it's the same thing, guys. You have to be patient. Okay? The problem is And I face this problem too, guys. I'll be the first one to admit. I want what people have in their 40s and their 50s. I want it now. I want it now. Like, I don't want to wait.
Yeah.
Right? The difference is I've already put in 10, 12, 14 years of my life. And I'm 29 right now.
Yeah.
Okay? So, of course, thank God, I'm going to see success. Okay? But if you have not put in the time, okay, I've put in over a decade already. My jiu-jitsu black belt's been almost 11 years of jiu-jitsu. That's just jiu-jitsu. Judo's been 14 years. Muay Thai's been 14 years, 15 years now. Well, it's about to be 16 years, actually.
Wow.
15, 16 years, actually.
It's over half of your life then.
Over half of my life, right? And
That's crazy.
I have the academy, right? Thank God. Alhamdulillah. Like, thank God. I have the academy. But I've put the time in. I put 15, 16 years already of training to get that. 15, 16 years of hard work to get that. Now, again, some people may say I'm an underlived 20-year-old. Right? I'm 29. I ain't no kid. About to be 30, right? And people say it to me right now. Somebody called me the other day, like, let's go get coffee. I want to see you. I want to hang out. Why are you not hanging out? They straight up told me this, right? And like, enjoy your youth is what they tell me. A lot of people tell me, like, enjoy. I am enjoying it. It's just in a different way. Okay? And so most of these young people are not willing to put and be patient for the long run to get the return. They want it now. TikTok has taught them now. Instagram Reels has taught them now. Snapchat taught them now. Facebook has taught them now. 10 seconds, I get happy. I see a funny video, I laugh. Boom. You did an event. You had kids watching a movie, and you said, bro, they watched a movie for 10 minutes, and they said, screw it.
Yep.
But if I make it past the first 10 minutes of the movie, I'm in to the end. I'm watching the whole thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you have to have the patience. You have to enjoy the road. You have to enjoy the journey. Okay? The journey is where the patience grows. Because this journey is long, bro. If I didn't remind myself of this, of my black belt, right? If I didn't tell myself up front, hey, this black belt's going to take 10 years. At least 10 years. I would have quit a long time ago. After the first broken bone, I would have quit. The first torn knee, I would have quit. Torn ankle, I would have quit. Torn shoulder, torn elbow, I would have been done. But it's like, hey, stay aligned with what you want. Stay the course. You fall off the horse, get back on. And keep going on this journey. Keep following the trail. And keep going. You fall off, get up and do it again. You want to turn around, keep going. There's only one way. And just stay on it. Don't try to do it in 1 month or 1 year. And this all depends on the size of the goal, right? But you have to train your mind and train yourself to keep on this journey and to stay patient and to stay persistent, right? The river cuts through a mountain. A river can cut through a mountain, right? It can cut through rocks. It's not when it hits it, it just cuts through it. It's from hitting it every day. 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years, eventually cuts through it.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Just keep chipping at it a little bit every day. Stay persistent a little bit every day, you know? And if you can do this, this also will help you mentally because at least you know that you're working towards something. The feeling of being stuck also comes from not working toward anything. You just feel like you're an object here, like you're just here. You're a character just here. You're a character in the game, you're a character in a movie that doesn't do nothing, that doesn't have a role. That's where the biggest feeling of being stuck comes from.
An NPC.
You know?
Yeah. I agree. And I think the biggest thing is realizing that you have to let go of who you are right now. What has gotten you here? What has gotten you here up to this point in your life? And if you're stuck, being the same person, the same habits, the same routines, the same interests will not get you to where you want to be. You know, like, if you change, like, your Instagram feed is going to change. The YouTube videos you watch are going to change. The content you consume is going to change. Your conversations are going to change. Everything about you has to change and you have to sacrifice yourself. The ultimate, at the end of the day, your life that you have and the person that you are right now, you have to kill that person off in a figuratively sense. In the figuratively sense, goddammit, not in another sense.
Language.
Hopefully, in the sense that you have to give up who you are if you want to be the better version of yourself. Version 2.0, as you say, right?
Yeah.
So that's the biggest thing. The biggest sacrifice is your comfort zone. Being comfortable who you are, you have to. That person has to be gone, and the new you has to emerge from the ashes like a phoenix. And you'll be able to soar high and be the person that you want to be, right?
No, I love that, Gio. That was good. That's very powerful. And guys, one big thing, okay? One big thing is just know that you don't have to be stuck. Also, you know that. It's like, I'm stuck. Okay, you don't have to be stuck. You can become unstuck. And becoming unstuck is a possibility. It's not like it's impossible. You can become unstuck. Okay? With the right mindset, guys, with the right energy, with the right drive, with the right goals and being connected to them, having patience, having clarity to your goals and being connected to them, you can become unstuck, okay, and start heading on that trail again. Okay, it's like, let's just talk about, I was just thinking about the West right now. It's like, okay, you're on this horse, you're on this trail, okay, you're on this trail, okay, you end up on this trail, there's one way, and there's a big old tree blocking the trail. And it's thicket on both sides. So you can't go in there with the horse. You got to go through the tree. Okay, you get off the horse, get your axe, you start chopping at this tree. So you're stuck there for a moment. You may have to camp out there for a day, 2 days, 3 days. The trees out there are ginormous. It may take you a few days or a few weeks to chop this damn tree. You're stuck, but you're going to work. You're going to work on this tree. You're clearing it out of your way. You're clearing the obstacles out of your way. You remove this tree, you get back on your horse, and you continue on your saddle, on your trail. Okay? So being stuck is part of life. Being stuck is part of your journey. All right? You have to understand that will happen. You have to recognize that it's happening. And you have to move through it. You have to go through it. You have to work around it. Don't let it stop you. I'm not going to let the tree stop me. Okay? It's not going to block my journey. It's not going to block my trail. All right? So for anyone being stuck, guys, the number one thing is have the mindset that there is a way out of being stuck. There is choice that you can make to get you unstuck. It's not like, hey, I'm stuck and that's it. You can come out of that. Okay? You can overcome these obstacles and you can get to the next level. I promise you guys. I'm telling you. I promise you, you can do it. Okay? They're just being like my own testimony, right? The last 15 years. It is possible. And it's not easy. But I promise you, you can do it. Okay? And these things I will never forget. Okay? And that's why I always preach and kind of the same thing to you guys. So you guys can realize it. For those young folks, whatever it is that you want, if you work toward it, it will come. It may not come overnight. It may not come in a year or 2 years. But it will come as long as you persist and you continue on your journey. For all those people that are in their 20s. All right, guys? I want you guys to think about everything that we said. And I want you to pick which one you resonate with. Maybe it's more than one thing. Okay? But I want you to think about it and see where you may have to do some work. Is it burning out? Is it getting out of the comfort zone? Is it fear of change? What is it? You know what I'm saying? That's stopping you. And think about it. Write down things that you can overcome that. Okay? But that's it for episode 40, guys. Like always, if you can follow this, guys, the sharpen your sword method, guys, the sharpen your sword lifestyle, the idea of sharpening your sword, of sharpening the swords on a daily basis, just a little bit when you're starting off as a white belt, whatever it is, you're starting off. If you can just do this a little bit every single day, okay, you will become closer to the best version of yourself. And the more that you can do this, the more that you can be unstuck And the more that you can get closer to your world championship, your dream, to the life that you want to live, okay? You're not just dreaming of your dreams. You get to live your dreams, okay? You get to make your dreams a reality if you can live by the idea of sharpen your sword, okay? This is what got me to where I am today, all right? Is trying to become a little bit better, a better version of Mo, the best man I can be, just a little bit every day. And every time I do that, I will become better, and I get to be better for myself, for my family, for my community, and for my country, all right? And I want you guys to do that. All right, guys? I appreciate you guys staying to the end on this episode. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, share it to your friends, guys. It will help more than you imagine, okay? Somebody needs to hear this. Send it to a few of your friends, even if it's just 3 or 5 of your friends. Send it to random people. Let them listen to it. It's going to open their mind up. All right? I appreciate the support, and I'll see you on the next episode of Sharpen Your Sword. Peace out.
Peace.